From a standpoint of total yards gained on the ground, Cyril Pendler is the best rusher so far for the Eagles. It is second down and 6. Snead to throw. Pryor gets him. Fred Pryor, number 89, shooting in from the defensive right end position, nailed him.
Well, hello! Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video, and welcome to the Gridiron. And before we get started, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone out there who's been watching my videos. Thank you. If you can maybe give this video a thumbs up or possibly leave a comment below or maybe even share this video, it would mean so much to me. But anyway, just thank you so much for just taking time out of your day to check out this video. Thank you. Well, the New York Giants wide receivers that they might target in the upcoming draft. Now, the Giants got plenty of wide receivers, all right? That's not their problem. They have, plenty of depth. Okay? Their 3 starters are pretty good. Under certain circumstances and this, that, and the other thing, Kenny Golladay, as in the past, been pretty good. Was last year, was he disappointing? Was our offense disappointing? Was the fact that we ended the season with 13th string quarterback in there trying to throw passes to him? That could be a little disappointing. Offensive line, a little was it a mixture of everything? Yeah, quite possibly. But in the past, Kenny Golladay has had some moments. He's been pretty good. All right. Sterling Shepard, love the man. So glad we got him. Got him back. He came back. Lotus he took a pay cut to stay with the Giants, but so happy. Shep's the man. I love him. Great freaking pick. I'm so happy. And he's been here since 2016. You got a Giant here that many years on this roster, so that's a miracle. And we got Kadarius Toney. The dude is, we've seen what he can do last year. Just simply absolutely freaking bananas. It's kind of funny watching some guys trying to cover him, or some guys trying to tackle him and stuff. It's pretty funny, right? Out of these 3, it seems like, Shepard and Toney are best suited for the slot. Okay, so it's, all right. Now, if they could go, obviously, the Giants go 4 wide out, or you could certainly throw Darius Slayton in there, right? You got maybe Golladay out here, you got maybe Slayton over there, maybe, Kadarius Toney in one slot here, Sterling Shepard in the other slot over there. All right, not bad. But I'm always going to be going maybe 4 wide, though. But, obviously, we do have a few problems here. Out of the 3 top wideouts that we have, okay, they have a habit of getting injured. All right, Golladay missed 3 games last year. Shepard missed 10, and Kadarius Toney missed 7. Kadarius Toney had, not even including the 2 stints he had on COVID, he had 6 different injuries last year on the injury report. 6. You got guys like, Leonard Williams and them guys just, every play they're out there banging heads with other offensive, defensive linemen, banging heads. They're out there for dozens and dozens of plays every Sunday, and you look on, they're not listed on an injury report. Darius Toney goes out there, runs a few patterns or whatever like that. Oh, he's got an ankle problem. Then he comes back and then runs some patterns the next week. Oh, he's got a hamstring problem. And then it was simply amazing. I don't think I've ever seen anybody. I don't look at every injury report every week on every team and all that, but somebody has been listed with 6 different injuries throughout the season. And he missed 10 games. So it's not like he played every game, right? And he came out, he played every down of every game, and and he came out with all these little injuries. He's probable, but he's got a little wrist injury. The next thing, he's probable, but he's got a knee problem. No, he missed, he missed 7 games, darn near almost half the season, and he still had 6. Our depth, okay, we got a lot of depth. All right, we got the Alex Bachman, C.J. Board. Robert Foster, all right, Richie James, all right, Colin Johnson, Austin Prohl, David Sills, Travis Toivonen. All right, just let me know which one of those guys really scared the crap out of you. All right, I'll wait. So we got plenty of depth. All right, so that's not the problem. All right. One of the other things too is that we also sorry, my dog just snuck in here. We lost Evan Ingram, right, who was more of a wide out than a tight end. Okay, he was also a tough perch to match up with. Now, I mean, regardless if he drops passes or not, it's not the defense. Oh, Evan Ingram's there. Guys, don't even cover him. He just drops passes. No, whether he drops passes or not, he's a mismatch, and you gotta account for him. So we lost him. All right, now as I said, he wasn't so much like a tight end. I mean, he was somebody who could maybe spread out, and so we lost him. And the guys we brought in, Ricky Seals-Jones, Chris Myrick, Jake Hausman, Bryson John, quite possibly, maybe in the draft. Maybe third round. We might start looking for a tight end. Third, maybe fourth round. Pick somebody up. I mean, they're not going to be Evan Ingram, but we can maybe get somebody. All right. Now the Giants made Shepard, feel wanted. Okay, and we have which is good. So hopefully he'll be here. Hopefully if he can stay healthy, hopefully we can keep him here for a little bit of time. Then we have Kadarius Toney. All right, but with Galladay's big contract numbers, we could maybe possibly, the Giants could possibly try to get maybe rid of his contract maybe next year. All right, and it would save $6.7 million. They would have eat a lot of dead cap money. Okay, but if they would get rid of him next year, they could save almost $7 million. If they would hold on to him next year, Kenny Golladay, and try to get rid of him in 2024, they would save $14.6 million. There's still some dead cap in 2024, but they could get rid of him and save almost $15 million. So, I mean, once again, he's not a Dable guy, not a Shane guy. I don't know how long, they want to keep him here. Who knows? But there's a possibility. Kadarius Toney is here to stay unless he just keeps getting injured, and then, he might be 4 and gone. So I have to keep an eye on him. Sterling Shepard might be this. I love the guy to death, but if he keeps getting injured all the time, I don't know how long they could possibly try to want to keep the guy on the roster. As I said, Kenny Galladay's got huge contract numbers, so I don't know how long he's gonna. So quite possibly, all right, the Giants, might want to, try to start restocking, with some quality. Okay, guys that you can maybe line up, maybe, if they don't draft somebody early, maybe you can get a number 2 wide receiver, right? Or a number 3 wide receiver in the draft, right? So there's good possibility. This draft there's a lot of good quality out there. Obviously, there's some really good quality in the first round. There's no Jamar Chase, Devontae Adams, Jaylen Waddle. There's probably not going to be 3 guys taken in the top 10 as far as wide receivers. That's probably not going to happen. All right. But from what I've been listening to and podcasts and videos and reading articles and all that stuff, some of these experts think there might be 5, 6, maybe, I don't know, 5 or 6. Let's go with that. Wide receivers taken in the first round. Possibly. So, exactly, who's going to take the first one, because sometimes that's what winds up happening. Somebody plucks Drake London, all right, and then, oh my God, the wide receivers are going. Then they just start going like crazy. So, the Giants certainly could, if they're not taking one with 5 or 7, okay? If they were to trade back, like maybe with Nolans, and get New Orleans maybe pick number 16 and 19 for maybe number 7 or number 5, however we're going to do. But they would definitely get New Orleans probably their 2 picks. They got to get more than that too. I don't care if they're trading up to number 5 or number 7. You're not trading back from 7 just to get 16 and 19. That's not happening. You're getting 16, 19, and something else too. Right? If they're going up to number 5, they're probably getting 16, 19. It might be the first rounder from next year. But anyway, I'm saying, but they were to trade back with New Orleans. And New Orleans goes up and maybe they grab a quarterback, Malik Willis. That's possibly maybe where the Giants might want to, get a little stud wide receiver. I mean, if you get somebody, one of these wide receivers who maybe aren't a slot guy, okay, maybe you have Galladay on one side, you have this other guy, young stud on the other, and then pair him up with Kadarius Toney, get a wide receiver in the first round, and you got Kadarius Toney from last year, and I said that maybe you can get a nice tight end maybe in the third round. That would be a great. I mean, you got Kadarius Toney be his second season. You got a nice young tight end who's a rookie. Another wide receiver you just grab who's a rookie. I mean, that would be something really nice to build around. Really fantastic. Now I said there's a bunch of guys. A lot of it is just kind of like, what flavor of ice cream do you want? I mean, there's guys that are just speed guys. They can take the top off. There's some guys that are tall, some guys that are short, some guys obviously just pretty much slot guys. You start getting down toward the bunch of these guys toward the back end of the draft or whatever. You got guys who just predominantly would be a nice number 2 receiver. Some guys are just would be a straight up 1. All kinds of stuff. I mean, I said, this is PFF, right? They got Drake London rated as their top wide receiver, but Garrett Wilson is the one right behind him. But I mean, you got Drake London from USC. He's a junior. Okay, it's a shame now. This is a shame. I mean, shame London's season ended with a broken ankle after only 8 games because he was on an unmatched statistical tear. I mean, it was 8 games he played. 88 catches in 8 games. 1,084 and 7 scores over that span. So he's catching 11 balls a game. So, I mean, could you imagine if somebody's playing like 12, 13 games. Could you imagine, what would that be? If he played like 13 games, he'd have 143 catches. I mean, could you imagine that? I mean, holy crap. Oh, my goodness. He's a massive 6'5". Now, he got 6'4", 6'5" here, 210, 220 pounder. Right. But, I mean, that would take care of Kenny Galladay. I don't know when he's going to go. I mean, he might be in the teens. Does he make number 20? Who knows? But, I mean, he can go in the teens somewhere, right? But, I mean, I said 6'4". They got 6'4", 6'5" here. But that could take care of Kenny Galladay. You can maybe get, we have Drake London this year and Kenny Galladay this year. And then after this year, you let Kenny Galladay go. You save yourself some money next year. Yeah. The next one said you got Garrett Wilson from Ohio State. All right. He's just a junior. All right. The natural. Wilson's ability to generate separation is the best in this class. Right. He's also produced at a high level from both the slot and outside. Okay. Flexibility. Fantastic. Garrett Wilson would be freaking huge in our offense. I mean, you can put him, as I said, the slot. If you're going to go 4 wide, you get put 2 guys in the slot. He could be one in the slot, but you can also put him outside. Put him outside, and then you don't have to worry about Darius Slayton, because this might be the last year for Darius Slayton, too. Right? Actually, I'm surprised, that we still have Darius Slayton, and we haven't cut him yet to save some money. But it is what it is. Then you got Jameson Williams, all right, from Alabama. I mean, Alabama, oh my God. They just keep pumping them out every freaking year. A wide receiver, at least one in the first round. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. How the hell they do that? My goodness. And once again, with the injury, it's a shame. It's a shame Williams tore his ACL in the national championship game, as his tape put him firmly in the mix for wide receiver number 1 overall, in the draft. He's still the best deep threat in the class. He's 6'1", so he's not big. I got him here at 6'1", which is not bad, about 179 pounds. Okay, but he's fast. So I mean, somebody can take the top off. I mean, he maybe catches a few balls a game. I mean, but somebody who can threaten the defense and just go deep. Fantastic. I mean, he would be huge in our offense. I mean, somebody that can go deep back the defense off a little bit and create all kinds of space underneath, with little Dable and Kafka with their scientific kind of minds going on, kind of plays they can draw up and everything. Just get Saquon going out. Oh, man, the kind of stuff we could do. Chris Olave, okay, from Ohio State. All right, now, between Wilson and Olave, they got 2 of the top 4 rated wide receivers in the whole draft class, Ohio State. Freaking unbelievable. All right, one of the best route runners in college football. Olave is one of the most consistent downfield threats in this class. In total, 13 of his 65 catches ended in scores last season. All right, so he didn't have he had 65 catches. All right, as where Drake London had 88 in 8 games. So Olave didn't catch a boatload of passes. All right, but the ones he caught, he caught. What is that, like one out of every 5 passes he caught? One out of every 5 passes he caught went for a touchdown. 20% of his passes he caught went for touchdowns. And that's the thing. Because what we got, between you got Kafka coming over from the Chiefs, you got Dable coming over from the Bills. You got those 2 guys meshing their freaking minds together, the stuff they could possibly come up with. If you get the athletes out there, right? Obviously, you need a line to help protect the quarterback, and you need a quarterback. But you get, this is, we're not taking a quarterback in the first round. Not happening. All right. I said maybe one of our first picks will maybe address the offensive line. But I'm saying, if we were to trade back in the first round, right, and you got Traylon Burks, okay, from Arkansas, right, he's a junior, right. These guys aren't even seniors. They're so good. They're juniors. They're coming out in the NFL. Burks' combination of size, 6'3", all right, 225, and speed is unrivaled in this class. He racked up 1,100 yards and 11 scores this season. The true junior should be a vertical weapon in the NFL. All right. Like just somebody who can just take the top off the defense. Right. Now he quite possibly he might be a first rounder as well too. Okay. Then you got that. Then we got later on. This could be possibly on that they have Sky Moore. They have him projected from Western Michigan to be possibly a second rounder. Okay, but he's a sophomore. Unbelievable. His PFF grade is number 1. They graded 1,006 wide receivers in college football. He graded out number 1 at 91.8. Now, the quality of talent that he went up against is he wasn't in the SEC. Okay, got to give that. But Moore has elite shiftiness that plays so well at the receiver position, whether it's shaking press coverage or breaking an FBS high 26 tackles last year. Right. Moore will make defenders miss with ease. Right. So in the second round, Sky Moore. Right. There's good. Once you get past like the first round, the past 5, 6, 7, 8 guys. Then you start getting a lot more like your flavor of ice cream. You want somebody who's tall. Maybe somebody who's got some speed. Maybe somebody who's good in the slot. Maybe somebody who'll be real good just wide receiver too. You got to pick and choose. You're not going to be picking these guys and they can do everything. But once you get to the second round or so and on, there's a lot of good receivers. Going to be a lot. The whole draft, a lot of good receivers. But once you start getting past like the first round, second round, whatever, then you got to start picking. Because you're not going to be able to get everything out of all of these guys. Then you got Johan Dotson, okay, from Penn State, real good. Dotson is one of the most difficult receivers to cover in the class. Right? He's a senior, right? While he has some size concerns at only 5'11" and 184 pounds, all right, Dotson played through contact more than enough to alleviate any worries. He dropped only 2 of his 93 catchable targets this season. So basically, his drop rate is a little over 2%. Very good. Very, very impressive. All right. George Pickens from Georgia. All right. He's 6'3", 193 pounds. Not huge, but he's got some size to him. He's only a junior. All right. Pickens tore his ACL last spring and only came back for Georgia in the last game of the regular season. He was a potential wide receiver number 1 after a massive freshman year, but never built upon it. Now his freshman year, let's see here. Let's go to his stats here. Freshman year, what do they have? He had 49 receptions, 726 yards. All right. But I mean, this past year he had he caught 5 passes for 107 yards. He averaged 21.7 yards a reception. Pretty impressive. All right. So I mean, it's just different types of who do you want? Jalen Tolbert, all right, from South Alabama. He's a junior. He's only 6'1", 194, but Tolbert is one of the best big play threats in college football. His 16 deep receptions ranked 5th in all of college football in 2021, right? So he's not going to be a wide receiver 1, but put him out there wide, he can be a deep threat, right? Now, he's possibly like a 3rd rounder, right? Justin Ross from Clemson. He's a junior. He's 6'4". Ross never quite took the next step after leading the nation in yards per route run as a true freshman. Right? He has a massive catch radius and tremendous ball skills. Right? I mean, just because the guy doesn't have fantastic numbers, I mean, they're looking at him, they're looking at the tape and all. I mean, if they see something in him, they're writing him down. They're writing his name down. I mean, the guy doesn't have to have 80 catches for 1,000. So. Then you got Christian Watson from North Dakota State. He's a senior, 6'4", 208 pounds. The Combine King is more than just a high-level testing athlete that we saw in Indy. So he did very well in the Combine. He's a super flexible 6'4", 208-pound receiver who can adjust to balls easily outside his frame. The drop issues and ball tracking are a tad concerning. Okay. However, as Watson has 16 drops on 120 career catchable balls, so that's pretty high. I mean, that's like 13%, somewhere around. I mean, that's even worse than Evan Ingram. So we might be passing on him. All right, Alec Pierce from Cincinnati. Pierce isn't your traditional vertical threat at 6'3", 208 pounds. He can stack corner with ease and did so to the tune of 13 deep receptions last year. He's a senior. All right, Khalil Shakir. All right, Shakir was a human highlight reel for the Broncos from Boise State. Yes, he was. I was watching some of his highlights and all that. His body control and hands are stuff of legends. Right. He likely profiles best from the slot after putting up over 1,000 yards there in 2021. So, he is very good. I mean, some of his catches were really rather freaking amazing. I mean, I just look at something, I'm like, I have a hard time just playing catch with somebody, much less what these guys do. That's simply amazing. The hands, the ability, everything that they got. Simply freaking absolutely amazing. And this guy was one of them. But, I mean, if you were to get him, you might have to put him in the slots. And now you got Sterling Shepard, you got Kadarius Toney, you got Khalil Shakir, so it's like, so possibly somebody like him, you might, even as good, you might want to maybe pass on him. Unless you're thinking of maybe getting rid of Sterling Shepard. It is what it is. But, I mean, you got John Mechie III from Alabama. Now, he won't be a first rounder, okay? But he's a junior. Mechie is one of the most polished route runners in the draft class. It's why he hauled in 96 catches for 1,142 yards with 8 scores in 2021. 2021, he had 96 catches. Right. An ACL tear suffered in the SEC championship game throws a wrench into his evaluation, but he's a safe bet when healthy. So, there's another guy, but he won't be probably 3rd round, maybe 4th round, somewhere around there. You got Calvin Austin from Memphis. All right, he's only 5'8". So you got now you got to pick your flavor. You want somebody 5'8". You got John Mechie, who's 5'11". Romeo Doubs, who's 6'2" from Nevada. David Bell, who's 6'1" from Purdue. Wandell Robinson from Kentucky, who's only 5'8". Josh Johnson from Tulsa, he's 5'11". So there's a boatload, you know what I mean, throughout the whole draft. It's just that obviously once you get past the first round or so, whatever, they're going to start being a little more and more specialized, you know. But I mean, as of right now, I don't know if the Giants are going to be trying to maybe pick up an additional slot receiver. But look for them maybe to start thinking about getting rid of, because I mean, Darius, we got a lot of depth. I don't know if there's anybody that's going to, you know, that's going to be thrust into the starting lineup because they're that good with our depth players, all right? But I mean, this might be it for Darius Slayton, and with Kenny Golladay, you know, I mean, if you can get somebody in the second round or third round or 6'3" or 4" or whatever that can take place of him, why wouldn't you rather, you know, possibly pay somebody who's been known to be healthy, who you can grab in the second round maybe, or the third, who's 6'3" or 6'4", that you can pay $1 million a year, all right, and compared to paying Kenny Golladay $18 a year. So I mean, I wouldn't be surprised at all if the Giants took a wide receiver. I would be shocked if they took him in the first round, but you never know unless they traded back, all right. But I mean, second round, third round, fourth round, I would not be surprised at all if the New York Giants took a wide receiver. Well, as always, guys, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. You guys stay safe out there and go Giants! Woo!